Good morning, children. Today, let us start a new chapter, that is Human Health and Disease, which is much easier than 5th, 6th, and 7th chapter. So, in this chapter, you will study about different types of diseases, infectious diseases, that is bacterial, viral, protozoan, helminthic, and fungal diseases. Then you will study about immunity and immune system, AIDS, its transmission, life cycle of HIV, prevention, etc. Then cancer, types, causes, diagnosis, treatment, drugs, types and effects. And smoking, its effects and health problems, alcohol abuse, types and effects, anabolic steroid abuse, types and effects, adolescence and drugs. So let us first start with common infectious diseases in man. So this health, what is the definition of health? Health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. So health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. And health is affected by genetic disorders, and then infections and change in lifestyle. That is, if you eat junk foods and all, if you don't eat balanced food and all, it will lead to disease. So change in lifestyle, that is food, water, rest, exercise, habits, etc. If you don't do exercise also, you will suffer from some obesity and other diseases. If you don't drink enough water also, you will suffer from so many other diseases. So health is the state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. Then this diseases are classified into bacterial diseases, fungal diseases, viral diseases, etc. So let us study about the common infectious diseases in man. So first let us study about bacterial diseases. So first example for bacterial disease is typhoid. So what is the causative organism of typhoid? Causative organism of typhoid is Salmonella typhi. Salmonella typhi is bacteria. About how it is transmitted. What is the mode of transmission? That is, it is transmitted from food, water. So if we eat contaminated food and water, then it will go to small intestine, and from the small intestine, that bacteria will go to blood and other organs. So this is how it is transmitted from infected person to healthy person, contaminated food and water. What are the symptoms of typhoid? Symptoms of typhoid are sustained high fever, then it will lead to weakness, stomach pain, constipation, health, that is a headache, and loss of appetite. You will not feel hungry. Loss of appetite, then intestinal perforation and death may occur. It will lead to intestinal perforation. Intestine, there will be pores on the intestine, and it may lead to the death of the person. And how it is diagnosed? Vidal test is to confirm the disease. Vidal test is there to confirm the disease. So these are the causative organism, symptoms and diagnostic test of typhoid. It is example for bacterial disease. Then next is about pneumonia. You can see this in small children and all during winter season and all. Pneumonia is also example of bacterial disease. What is the pathogen of pneumonia? Pathogen is Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. So this is also bacteria. Different types of bacteria are there, Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. And how that it is transmitted? By inhaling. If a person suffering from pneumonia, this cough or sneezes, then the droplets are there. By inhaling the droplets or aerosols released by an infected person. This is how it is mainly transmitted. Then sharing glasses and utensils with an infected person also will lead to this disease. Okay, so this is the mode of transmission of pneumonia. Inhaling droplets or aerosols released by an infected person by coughing, sneezing, etc. Sharing glasses and utensils with an infected person. And what are the symptoms of this disease? Symptoms are that alveoli, lung, what is the basic unit of lung? Alveoli. So alveoli will be filled with fluid. If the alveoli is filled with fluid, then it will lead to breathlessness. So it will lead to respiratory problems, then fever, chills, cough and headache. In severe cases, what will happen? Lips and fingernails turn grey to bluish color due to lack of oxygen. If the alveoli is filled with fluid, we will not get proper oxygen. So, this lips, in severe cases, lips, fingernails turn grey to bluish color due to lack of oxygen. So, this is about pneumonia. So, typhoid and pneumonia are example of bacterial diseases. Now let us study about viral disease. Viral disease, now you are aware of COVID-19. Corona is also virus. So you have to study about common cold. Common cold is example for viral disease. What is the causative organism of common cold? That is rhinovirus. Rhinovirus is the causative organism or pathogen of common cold. And how is it transmitted? All of you know. Okay, it is transmitted by inhaling droplets resulting from cough or sneezes or through contaminated objects. It mainly infects nose and respiratory tract. Okay, all of you have suffered from common cold, you know the symptoms and all. What are the symptoms of common cold? Nasal congestion. So nose blockage, nasal congestion and discharge. Then cough, sore throat, hoarseness. When we say something, that hoarseness will be there, the sound will, that our voice will be heavy, hoarseness will be there. Then fever, headache, tiredness. Okay, so these are the symptoms of common cold, and it lasts for 3 to 7 days. It is a viral disease. Even if we take any antibiotics and all, it will not be effective, because all of you know virus does not have its own metabolism. So antibiotics are not effective against virus. So these are the symptoms of common cold: nasal congestion, discharge, cough, sore throat, hoarseness, fever, headache, tiredness, etc. If we don't, even if we don't take medicine, also it will go away till 1 week. It will go after 1 week. Then next is protozoan disease. Protozoan disease, example for protozoan disease is malaria. Malaria is example for protozoan disease. So what is the pathogen of malaria? Actually, you have to understand, this Anopheles mosquito is not the pathogen, it is a vector. So you have to understand the difference between pathogen and vector. The pathogen of protozoan, that is malaria, is Plasmodium. Different types of Plasmodium species are the Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malaria, and Plasmodium falciparum. Out of this Plasmodium falciparum is the most dangerous one. Okay, and what is how it is transmitted? Actually, it is transmitted by female Anopheles mosquito biting. By female Anopheles mosquito biting, and female Anopheles mosquito is vector of the disease. It is not a pathogen. It is a vector. It transmits diseases from one person to another person. So it is a vector or carrier of a disease. What are the symptoms of malaria? Actually, when if malaria during malaria at night, chilling, high fever and chilling will be there. High fever and chilling recurring every 3 to 4 days will be there due to the release of a toxic substance known as hemozoin. In 1 mark question it will be asked, hemozoin. What is hemozoin? That we will study the life cycle of Plasmodium. So hemozoin causes chill and high fever recurring every 3 to 4 days. And in the picture you can see the blood smear of a infected person. In that you can see that is sporozoites of malaria. That thread-like structure is a sporozoite of malaria. Sporozoites of Plasmodium malaria. Okay, so these are the symptoms of malaria. Then life cycle of Plasmodium. Life cycle of Plasmodium is very, very important for exam. You have to study in this in NCERT textbook also. There is one diagram, life cycle of Plasmodium. It is very, very important. So first, see, look at the picture. One female Anopheles mosquito bites a person. See the arrow mark also. And when the female Anopheles bites a person, it will inject infected sporozoites. Sporozoites, that I will tell you what is sporozoite. that infected stage of Plasmodium. Life cycle of Plasmodium is sporozoid. It will see the arrow mark. It will inject Plasmodium. That it will inject the sporozoids of Plasmodium, and it will enter the liver. See, bloodstream. It will enter the bloodstream, and it will first enter the liver, and from the liver it will go to the RBC, and from the RBC again it will be released to the bloodstream. And see, and I will explain the life cycle of Plasmodium. So this is the life cycle of Plasmodium. First, mosquito bites one human, another human. I'll show another picture and explain. Okay. I will explain with the help of this only. First, mosquito bites another human, then sporozoids are injected into that human. Sporozoids are injected into that human, and parasites reach the liver through the blood. Okay, parasites reach the liver through the blood. So this blood in blood, asexual reproduction in liver cells take place. Asexual reproduction in liver cells take place, and it will burst the liver cells, and it will parasites will be released into the blood. So first, what happens? Mosquito bites one human who is healthy. Mosquito bites one human who is healthy, and it will inject sporozoids. Then these sporozoids reach the liver through the blood. And in liver, what happens? Asexual reproduction take place. Asexual reproduction take place in the liver cells. Then in liver cells will burst and release that sporozoids into the blood. Then again it will reach the RBC. Asexual reproduction take place in RBC. Again RBC burst and release a toxin known as hemozoin. So I told you about a toxic substance known as hemozoin, which is responsible for the fever and other symptoms. So asexual reproduction in RBC take place, and it will burst the RBC, and it will release a toxin known as hemozoin. So hemozoin is the reason for cycles of fever and other symptoms. Then after that, sexual reproduction takes place in the RBC. After asexual reproduction, RBC will break, release, then it will enter another RBC. Then from that RBC, sexual reproduction, sexual stages will take place. Sexual stages means gametocytes will produce, that is male and female gametocytes will be produced. Okay, then all these occur in the body of that person. Then another female mosquito sucks the blood of this person. Another female mosquito sucks the blood of this person. Then when the female mosquito sucks the blood, along with the blood, these gametocytes, that is male gametes and female gametes, will enter into the body of the female. Okay, then inside the mosquito, what happens? Fertilization and development take place in the mosquito's intestine. So fertilization, that is fusion of male and female gamete take place, and development takes place in the mosquito intestine of the mosquito. Then from the intestine, mature infection stages, that is sporozoids. After the fusion of male and female gametes, sporozoids, which is infectious stage, sporozoids will be formed, and it will escape from the intestine and migrate into the mosquito's salivary glands. So all this occurs in the body of the mosquito. This Plasmodium requires 2 hosts for completing its life cycle. So when this same mosquito bites another human, then this infectious sporozoids will enter the body of the another human being, and the whole cycle will be repeated. So this is the life cycle of Plasmodium. Once again, you just understand. I will show this picture. See, look at this picture. In this, you can see the arrow mark indicates one mosquito bites, sporozoids will be transferred into the liver, then from the RBC, and from the RBC, in the RBC, asexual reproduction take place, then sexual reproduction take place. Then another mosquito bites, then this sporozoids will enter the body of the mosquito, and inside the mosquito you can see it will first reach the intestine, and from there it will reach the salivary glands. And again, if that same mosquito bites another healthy human being, then he will suffer from malaria. So this is the life cycle of Plasmodium. So all of you draw the life cycle of Plasmodium in your classwork. Okay, today only this much. Thank you.